Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the comorbidity between narcissism and sex and porn addiction, and some of the ways that they look at the people in their lives that are supposed to be their partners, right? Whether it's a male or female. So I'm going to be mostly speaking almost from as if the narcissist is a male, but do recognize that I fully understand that there are plenty of narcissists that are females, and there's also plenty of sociopaths that are females, and their ideology is probably very, very similar. I'm just going to, for the ease of making this easy to understand, I'm going to be referring to the narcissist or the sociopath as more of a male. So in general, so there is a huge correlation between narcissism and porn and sex addiction. I have yet to speak with a coaching client where that has not been the case. Almost all of the forums are just riddled with this this comorbidity. So, there still needs to be a lot more research on like the early consumption of pornography, I believe, and, this tendency to develop much more narcissistic behaviors and attitudes towards, the opposite sex. But in general, almost all of these people have a hidden sex life. And, again, I've talked about it before, the hidden sex life can include, multiple affair partners. It can include pornography. It can include webcams. It can include Craigslist, Backpage, dating sites. It can include going to massage parlors for sexual intercourse. It can include, strip clubs. Sometimes they're into like BDSM clubs, like you name it, right? So narcissists in general almost always have this hidden sex life. And, a big part of it is, so because they don't have empathy, they have a low empathy or a complete lack of empathy. They don't care how it affects their partner. They don't care how it affects the people that they're consuming for sex, or the fact that pornography is directly linked to the human trafficking industry. They do not care about the fact that the people that they're consuming when they go to strip clubs are, somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. They just don't care about the ramifications to these people because they don't have empathy for other people, right? And then also they tend to lack any remorse or guilt. So what's the big deal, to them? So you're going to see this is very, very common. They may, if it's a covert narcissist or a sociopath, they may be in a long-term relationship that appears to be monogamous. Their partner may believe that they're fully committed and monogamous, and then find out that they had a completely hidden sex life for the entirety of their, the relationship, or for the majority of the relationship. Sometimes, a partner will be with somebody who they think is, they're married to them long-term, monogamous, they think they're heterosexual, and then they find out that that narcissist or the sociopath has been engaging in gay sex, with somebody of the same sex, hookups, and they had no clue, right? It's very, very, unfortunately, pretty common. Sometimes the sex is even, illegal pornography. I sort of look at it like you're feeding the beast. It's an addiction, and you're feeding it. And, some alcoholics can just be wine drinkers their whole life, and then others can, graduate to cocaine, to heroin, and they need a bigger fix to get their needs met. Now, why do narcissists do this? Number of different reasons. Again, they don't have empathy. They tend to, are low empathy, low, no remorse or guilt. So they don't have those normal things that neurotypicals have to stop them from engaging in these behaviors, because they feel guilty, they feel bad, they don't want to do that to their partner, they have empathy, they don't want to hurt other people. So they have a big disconnect from all of that, right? They're very detached from those emotions. And then two, they really, really require outside validation, and sex is a way to get it, to get outside external validation. They need that in order to, survive. It's almost like food to them. They need supply, so they can get it through, sex. They can get it through these anonymous online relationships where they can present their image of perfection without the person requiring any sort of emotional intimacy, reciprocity, or honesty, right? Or authenticity. which is, you know, what is expected in like a normal relationship. Those are all demands that are placed on a narcissist that are totally normal, totally expected in a normal relationship. But the narcissist can't meet those demands, and they're insulted that they're even being asked to be monogamous and heterosexual and, you know, have empathy and compassion for their partner. They can't even fathom that. They can't wrap their head around it. So, you know, you're just going to see that a lot. And there's some of the researchers that I was reading about, and some of the posts talk about narcissists, the way that they look at women. And, you know, if it's a male narcissist, like they may look at, there's this dichotomy, this Madonna whore dichotomy. And so they may be married to their Madonna, right? And that's the, you know, that's their wife or their partner that is like, you know, their mother figure, right? So that person can be like a very mothering, nurturing, caring figure. Often that person may have their own children. They often target people that already have kids, and they see that that person's like very nurturing and mothering. So that's the person that they put in their sort of mother Madonna role, right? And that person is not the person that they have sex with typically, or they have very sporadic sex, and it's very sort of missionary sex, right? But then there's the whore category, and the other women are in the whore category, and those are the whores that they do dirty, filthy things with, whether it's, you know, they pay for it or it's online or whatever. So that there's this dichotomy. So if you're in the Madonna position, you may be like, wait, how come I don't have a, you know, much of a sexual relationship with my partner? Where's our, you know, where's our sex life? And that's because they're not using you for that. They're using you to be their mother, to cook for them, clean for them, care for them, take care of the children if they are, to provide them money, to show them, to provide them a mask of normalcy, to legitimize them, to make them look like a monogamous, heterosexual, like normal person. And then they use the whores for sex and dirty and whatever stuff that they're doing to get that supply and that gratification and to get their sort of sexual needs met. So they have this dichotomy with women. They're either, you know, the Madonna or the whore, right? And they put them in these categories. And, you know, really, you know, think about it. If you're a young boy and you're consuming porn at a very young age, like this is probably a bit of the message that you're actually getting from porn, that women are all dirty whores, there for your pleasure. They're just appliances. They're washing machines. They could be a Maytag. They could be a Whirlpool. They're just, you know, these dirty things that you use for pleasure and then you discard, right? So that's how they look at, like, you know, that's one way they look at women. And then they may have this conflict because then there's the mother, there's their mother. So all women can't be dirty whores. There's got to be a few that are like their mother, right? So there's this, you know, most women are in this category of the dirty, slutty whores. And then there's the mother figure, the Madonna. And, you know, I think that early consumption of porn is very detrimental. Not just do I think it. If you read the literature, what it's doing to people's brains is, you know, devastating. What it's doing to relationships. In the 70s, there was some research out there where we thought that porn was going to make men into rapists. Now we know that what it does is it actually kills intimacy. It stops sex. There's some interesting research now coming out of Japan where, you know, their population is dying, and one of the reasons that they're attributing to their dying population is because, you know, people between the ages of like 18 and 35 are not procreating anymore, and their population is literally dying. A first world country that's population is dying, and they believe a lot of it has to do with pornography because they are, you know, some researchers believe that because people are just having sex with the internet and with computers instead of with each other, and they don't want intimacy, they don't understand it, they're afraid of it, they don't get close to people, instead they have sex with computers. So, I mean, that I know sounds absolutely crazy, but that I was reading some research about that, and it's not the only factor that's contributing to their dying population, but it's one variable that some researchers think is very significant. So it's very interesting. I think what, you know, I didn't used to be so anti-porn, but the more that I've studied about it, the more I've learned about its link between the human trafficking industry and the pornography industry seem to be one and the same, or they're run by many of the same people. Like I've started to develop a, zero porn for myself, because I don't want to participate in an industry that is trafficking children and killing people and hurting people and ruining sex lives and ruining marriages and ruining people's ability to emotionally connect and to be emotionally intimate with one another and to love. It's killing, porn kills love, and that's what I'm seeing. And so for that reason, I'm taking a much harder stance on it than I ever did in the past. So I don't know if this is helpful for you, but this is one way that, narcissism and pornography and sex addiction may be all sort of linked together. And obviously there's some, there's some differences between sort of a strict porn addict and a narcissist that also has porn addiction. I've made some videos about those differences. I won't get into it now, but I'll make some more in the future. So I hope this helps you. I know it's sort of slanted towards a male perspective, but I think also if you're a man and you're with a narcissistic woman, I think what they're going to be doing most likely is, having probably multiple affairs with multiple different people, going out and getting male attention, trying to garner that narcissistic supply. I think there's also quite a few women who are also addicted to pornography, so that's not out of the question either. I've met quite a few in the context of recovery, and I've read about them on the forums and stuff. So it's not just men. So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.